you... What's up?
What?
I don't know, Happy just says, you see, this is what happens when you skip school.
Oh, I thought you said what's up.
Oh.
Alright, I can actually use revives.
Man, I'm more sad about Bug getting screwed over every gen. I mean, they buffed it in the last... In between Gen 5 to 7. They made a pretty solid effort to buff him up. It's a pretty solid type now, right? How is it on?
Like, it's not competitive, but honestly, if you're talking competitive, like, half the chart gets screwed over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely talking single player myself. Oh, shout out to Ribombi, which made me realize how good it was.
Are we just talking about, like, the types of Pokemon being introduced? Because me and Tails are talking about, like, how the actual type works.
Yeah. The function of the type on the type chart, resistances, is super effective against it, you know. The move pool available to it to make use of. Something bug type for the longest time, even if you got a bug type with the stats, probably didn't have any real moves to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Also, shout out to my entire Alola team for my Moon version, where it was literally just, I'm gonna catch this and probably not use it, and then I loved it and took it with me all the way to the end. Because that was my Alolan Grimer, and then it turned out to be a wonderful tank. And then that was Crabrawler, which just somehow kept up despite everything, and was one of my best hitters, especially since it had, Brick Break? And it felt like everything was using Reflect and Light Screen. Ribombi was another one where I'm like, oh, this little bug's cute, but it's bug type, and it's small, it's gonna get outclassed real quick, and then it was one of my pinch hitter. It's like that whole group really was like, I'm gonna use this for a whole 10 minutes, and then I'm not gonna think about it again, and then cue me at the Elite Four with this team.
I'd be more worried about this 8-level gap if Onyx could hit.
If Onyx had a shred of attack power.
Oh no, it halved my... It made it so I'm gonna take double damage. I've only had a second turn to utilize that.
That's the sad part, is that's a smart move, considering Onyx's deficit. You can't do anything with it, but it was a smart move.
That reminds me of Pikachu getting beat by Screech in the Rourke fight. Like how everyone got on his case for going down to a non-damaging move. Do you remember how that looked?
Didn't it have solid impact?
The Screech attack pushed Pikachu back so hard that he hit the rock behind him and the rock crumbled into tiny pieces.
I'm losing my mind. I can't believe Pikachu went down to a non-damaging attack and not the impact on the fucking rock Pikachu had!
The impact on the rock that was hard enough to kill a person in real life.
Oh my god.
I don't even think a real person can hit a rock hard enough for it to crumble. I think our bodies will crumble first.
Yeah. Let me see. Javier says regarding Subtile, I think it's less about the eyes and more the fact that its skin is paler and weaker. I'm making the joke solely about the eyes, but you know, the paler, weaker skin makes them look high. Go for it. This was a nice type joke. You made it too real. I don't know what I did, but I'm not sorry. Mood bugs for the win. It's a shame Gen 9 went back to weak bugs. 0 do not interact. Grimer and Muck are so good in Alola. The Alola versions are very good. Rabombi has high speed and special attack. It sure did! Insert Alpharad joke here. Max attack is lower than Oddish. Remember the Battle Frontier and how Charizard lost to Will-O-Wisp of all moves? It did?
Yeah.
And the mechanics are very different from game mechanics. Yeah, like the anime, the biggest thing that I feel like a lot of people just don't consider with the anime is the mechanics are different for one, and two, also like something Will-O-the-Wisp in game just burns. Will-O-the-Wisp is actual fire in the anime. That's a real fire.
That's like the thing people aren't grasping. It's like it's not like the core way to really say what people aren't grasping is they don't grasp that it's not a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like in game, Will-O-Wisp really it just burns. In the anime, it's a fire hot enough to leave a burn.
Yeah.
And in the game, Screech just lowers defense. In the anime, it's pushing. It's really just a deadly move. Like everything about the way that move is portrayed is if it happened in real life would be very, very lethal. from how loud it is to how much it pushes you back, how hard it pushes you back. Just anybody in real life would be dead getting hit by that.
Yeah.
Alright, we're like 6 Pokemon trainers in. Please, remember to switch the Pokemon that's the highest level out from the lead. To be fair, game designer would want the anime to be more like the game. Not in that way, no. Alright, this is where you go when you want to catch the Pokemon from around. I'm fairly confident most people, that's a rat, who make a video game, if they wanted to see a movie or show adaptation of it, they would want an adaptation of it, not their game mechanics animated.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody would want. What people want in this situation is for stuff to be true to the games, not exactly like the game. And having Will-O-Wisp as a fire that is hot enough to burn somebody be something that can do actual damage is something that most would want, who are reasonable would want. Gestures Pokemon Origins. I do not like this because the fans suck. What reasonable person wants fire hot enough to leave a breath? Sounds like they're not in Patreon. Anyway. I do like how Red's Jolteon got taken out by Rhyhorn. Though with a Thunderbolt, like it was hilarious. This was before Abilities Gen.
Fair enough. And Origins. Technically Origins was based off of Gen 1. So technically speaking, Jolteon wouldn't have Volt Absorb. It's a threat. I'm just imagining Sceptile pulling out like the little Bowie knife Brokey has in the anime. I'm just being like, this is a threat.
This is a threat.
We're getting some of the babies caught up, y'all.
I want to note that this isn't a Pokemon specific thing, but I do love in general when you have like someone who's fighting, who theoretically should be able to absorb something,
Well,
and whatever it is so powerful that it still manages to do damage to them. So like something like an electric type getting hurt by electricity because it's just too much to handle. That's I again, that's a specific Pokemon thing, but I love it in media where something like that happens to help showcase the power of an attack.
but it
It's
has to be like established.
Yeah. But like I love like you have someone established who they got
not established. Like it has to be portrayed in that way.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you got somebody who's they have fire powers. They're clearly resilient to fire. They could surround themselves with it. The great heat clearly shouldn't bother them too much. And then you have somebody who just does some sort of like fire attack, like tornado or some stuff, and that person is knocked out by it because the flames are so intense. And it's just like, I love that. Love it. Good stuff. Let's see, happens to ship.
Something. It can be cool. I even plan to have electric moves bypass immunity in Golden Sun. Not Golden Sun. Maybe Golden Sun. I don't have plans for that though. I do have plans for it happening in Across the Divide. People can probably see where that's gonna happen already. But the journey sure did have Pikachu just kind of like one-shot Electivire through an immunity to electricity. Just cause. It wasn't even established as a big deal. It was just good job being so tough. It wasn't like, wow, that attack was so strong and bypassed Motor Drive, which we've already established in this fight.
Wasn't one of the complaints we had that it didn't even showcase like Electivire maybe trying to absorb it and then failing, which would have literally done what we needed it to there.
Remember,
Thunder it's like that's all it needed was like Electivire using. Nah.
He's basically one shot by it. So with that's another entirely different flaw that's really consistent across journeys, but I don't buy just like, wow, that was such a tough thing that you just one shot. At least not this late. Like maybe if they had made Volkner show up earlier because he's just a gym leader that already won. Why is he fighting him as that stage? So if it had happened earlier and it was just to showcase how tough Pikachu was, maybe, but it was like Ash's like first ultra rank fight, so it was like him trying to break into this new rank and prove himself. What's up?
Oh, I just want to clarify. I think it would have fixed the immunity to electricity being overdone thing, not the battle itself. Definitely not the one-shotting portion of the battle. It should not have one-shot. I do agree with that.
Which is just really consistent problem with journeys. Just a lot of stuff one-shots.
They really hit the button of like, we need this character gone now, so they are going to get one shot right out of the battle.
Something I'll never forget about how the fight right after. So I don't know if anyone noticed, but I misclicked and accidentally overwrote Absorb with a Fury Cutter.
Oh.
So we no longer.
Is that what I heard the whelp for?
Yeah. So I no longer have a grass move. So now our best Pokemon for ground types is the bird, which is going to be terrible for anyone who has a rock.
Does Registeel have a steel move?
It might, but it's also weak to ground. I'm also up against a Sandshrew right now, so not going to help in this specific scenario.
I'm sad that this one doesn't let us send you TMs. That stinks to me. I want to send you TMs. Happens to the best of us, Javier says. Tails, you know what annoyed me in the anime? It was in Hoenn, the episode where Grovyle evolved and fell in love with Meganium. But my favorite episode was where Sceptile was flying and defeated his scissor using the wind, and everyone in the comments lost their shit, saying it's dumb. And I was like, bro, it's cool. Oh, kids noting, I always thought that even if ground types were immune to electricity, they can feel the power behind it and will not damage. They can get stunned, basically.
My personal take on electricity is we don't really focus on how hot it is.
Yeah.
So for anybody who is unaware, lightning is... Well, lightning is, so you know how everyone that's like, oh, cargo, twice as hot as the surface of the sun, so unrealistic, so impossible. So lightning in real life is 5 times hotter than the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And why is everything immediately poisoning? Oh my god. Oh my god. What was I saying? Oh my god, really?
Lightning and how hot it is and how it's 5 times hotter than the sun.
I don't care. Yeah, that's replaced Leer, not Absorb, but okay. Yeah, even just like, I don't know, do those light bulbs with the wire exist anymore?
Oh, I don't think, That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if they exist anymore, but those old light bulbs that used to have the wire running through them, and they just like ran electricity through it to heat up the wire so it glowed.
Mm-hmm.
You may have noticed if you ever tried to touch it, but the light bulb itself is very hot and will burn you.
Mm-hmm.
And the wire, like the glass is like keep being in the heat. The wire itself, I believe, is hotter than fire.
Ooh.
That's just like 100-watt bulb.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, like electric attacks are ridiculously hot.
Yeah, and that's just not focused on enough here.
Yeah, so in theory, with ground type Pokemon, even if they're like immune to getting shocked, even if they're immune to the shock damage from electricity, they should still take heat damage. In fact, they should technically take more so than from a fire attack.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in fairness, is a really bad thing that people miss across all of writing fiction, not just Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my takeaway. Like, ground types. Honestly, my takeaway is just that ground types resist electricity, not are immune to it.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a fun little thing with the particular antagonist we're going up with again across the divide. Something ground type is immune to the shock damage. While ground type is immune to the shock damage, while that other type, why? Ooh, thank goodness. While water type resists the heat damage. So basically, a water ground type would be taking practically no damage from a electric move. Damn it. why isn't steel weak to reactive? Because there's actually no logic behind what is weak to what.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll like put some logic to some, but not all of it. Hello, sir. Oh, aren't you, little tubby? Are you watching me in my other fights, or...? This Pokemon looks pretty rock solid. Oh, which give is that? Ah, give random Pokeball times 8. That defense curve would have held to in the later generation, but grass is still 100% special.
Is this what it means to be ahead of your time?
Yes. Speaking of being ahead of your time, remember the Onyx being vulnerable to electric Pikachu's Thunderbolt because of the sprinklers?
Mm-hmm.
I remember how everyone called that BS, and how it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So not to say that Gen 1 is not riddled with times where ground types taking damage from electric moves with no logic behind it. Heck, Pikachu just casually one-shots Geodude with Thunderbolts just 2 minutes prior. But Soak exists now.
Does it?
Yeah, so now there's a move that's literally just cover the opponent in water, and even if they're ground type, they're now weak to water, weak to electric.
Oh my god. So anyway, ahead of time. Ahead of their time.
Which is another reason I think what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's another reason I feel like the thing would just ground types would just resist.
Not be immune to it.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's not it. That's why I feel like there are ways to bypass it. Because I feel a lot of people will be like, oh, ground type is immune because they're grounded. I'm like, that's basically logic based off of a pun, because they're literally not grounded, they're off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They can jump off the ground. Why is Gliscor immune to... Is he grounded in midair? Is that a thing? No, it's not, by the way. Anyways, I personally believe that it's because they have non-conductive skin. Because, fun fact, human skin is actually fairly non-conductive to electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And basically any non-lightning natural electricity is really only going to shock us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe electric eels too, but you know, that kind of... If you're messing around with electric eel, you're either wet or bitten by it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it is enough electricity to actually get you. Or if it's just bypassing it.
Fair point.
Yeah, our skin is fairly non-conductive, but you splash water and it's suddenly hyper-conductive. So yeah, which also means spicy way of tackling it. That means other ways of. That means the ways that we as humans can be more vulnerable to electricity should in theory work on ground type Pokemon.
Yeah.
One example is getting a cut.
Oh, yeah. Or bitten, apparently, before you're shocked.
Or bitten.
So, I need to make this clear, Lyra. I'm reeling because, like, I've seen eels. I've seen the mouths of eels. For some reason, it never really connected to me that they bit. And, like, I feel like a whole new fear has been unlocked in me. Just an entirely new fear is now in my soul going to the beach. So thank you. I hate it. Happy says we're not conductive. Of course it is. Happy says we're not conductive. There goes my plan for the weekend. All right, Happy, you got it. What the fuck was your plan for this weekend?